Alright you guys, welcome to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ryan Phipps, and it is my current mission to mentor driven young adults to a successful future by using fitness as the gateway. And I have a very special video planned for you guys today. What we're going to be covering is how to set yourself up for a successful future in your early 20s. But first, I want to tell you guys a little bit of a story. When I first got out of high school, I felt lost and confused. Soccer was literally my everything growing up, and when I stopped playing, it felt like there was a void that was left in my life by my sport, and I quickly got into the gym to fill that void. And I felt like I'd finally found myself again after making my first fitness transformation. And at that time, I was falling in love with fitness, so I decided to get a job as a personal trainer. And I learned a lot at that job, but after a few years of working at that job, I realized a few things that made me really anxious at the time. I realized that I had a job, not a career. And what I mean by that is I was fine then because I was still young, but I realized that I was never going to be able to support myself working at that job. And over time, I also felt like my love for fitness was fading because of the effect that the 9-to-5 life was having on me. I was being overworked and underpaid. There were weeks where I literally had 40+ sessions a week. Now keep in mind, each session is an hour in this 40-hour work week. I'd have to double up or cut sessions in half to fit everybody in, and I'd get paid the same amount if I had 40 sessions a week or if I had one. But I was genuinely that busy because I just love to help people and I love training them. But what really got me is the higher ups in that business at the time didn't value the work that I was putting into their clients. So eventually I grew resentful of that organization as a whole. And outside of that, what really bothered me was just the lack of growth potential that I had at that job, because I realized there really wasn't another step up for me. I didn't want to manage because that meant I wouldn't get to train people anymore, but I realized that I didn't want to lose my passion again, so I had to find a way to grow while helping people see fitness results without suppressing my potential. So I decided to start my own online fitness coaching business so I could help more people see better results. And now it's been years since I've made that choice, and I've been through countless trials and tribulations that have made me stronger since back then. But my point in sharing these 3 steps with you today is so that you can avoid wandering through life in your early 20s feeling lost and confused like I did. And when you use these 3 steps in order, you'll emerge as a high performer with a purpose that makes you excited to wake up and work each and every single day. So let's dive into step number 1, which is fitness. Fitness is the gateway to a successful future. Every single lesson you'll learn while making a successful fitness transformation applies to building better relationships, becoming a high performer in your career, building wealth. I mean, literally everything. And let me give you an example of what I mean. When you first start working out, you're not going to see results right away. Making a noticeable fitness transformation can take 4 to 6 months when you do it with the proper training and nutrition protocols. This means you're going to have to show up to the gym for weeks until you even start to see noticeable results. And the reason going through this process will change your life is because of the person you're going to become along the way. You're going to become someone who is consistent with their workouts, someone who is disciplined enough to eat the right foods, and most importantly, you're going to learn how to delay gratification, meaning you'll learn how to sacrifice things now for a better future. This will cause you to become so focused on the daily process of making progress that you'll be unrecognizable after a few months. And again, this trait that you're going to learn from making a successful fitness transformation is essential to see success in all other areas of life as well. No matter what you do, there will be a point in which you're brand new to that thing, so you'll begin taking action to achieve the ideal outcome that you're after. And through your ability to delay gratification and focus more on the process of making progress than the outcome, you'll be able to make the equivalent of a fitness transformation in any other area of life as well. And being in shape is going to give you a massive advantage. The confidence you gain in yourself is going to be life-changing, and whether today's society wants to admit it or not, people who are in better shape are treated differently. And before we move on to number 2, I wanted to let you know about the free community that I have for driven people who are looking to use fitness as the gateway to a successful future while making their first fitness transformations. As a member of the community, you're going to gain access to different lessons on how to lose fat and build muscle, along with the knowledge you'll need to understand how the process of getting lean actually works. You're going to get access to a nutrition course that gives you your own custom calories and macros to reach your specific goal. And on top of all of these resources, we have weekly coaching calls, and I'm there each and every single day in the community answering questions and providing insights and motivations for those of you who are in the community. So if that's something you feel like you'd benefit from, I highly recommend clicking the link down below in the description to join our free community. So the second step in building a successful future in your early 20s is going to be to start to focus on your mindset. Having a lean physique is almost worthless if your mental state isn't as developed as your body. But after completing step 1, you'll naturally have some routines in your life from fitness. So now we can add on to those routines and start doing the same thing so we can train your brain. For example, one small habit that changed my entire life was when I started to listen to audiobooks on the way home from the gym instead of music. And I know this habit seems small, but simply listening to 15 minutes of a self-improvement related book on the way home from the gym allowed me to finish over 20 self-improvement related books in 1 year that, just being honest with myself, I never would have even picked up if I wasn't into fitness in the first place. And trust me, I know how it sounds. You probably have a million people each and every single day on social media telling you to read more books, but stop and critically think with me for a second here. When I was making this video and when putting all of this together, I wouldn't have had this idea to include this if this wasn't impactful to me. And I definitely wouldn't have written out the entire script for this video thinking that this was still a bad idea to put in there. And I definitely wouldn't have spent hours filming and editing this video just to give you some terrible advice that didn't help me at all. So seriously, all the reading I've done over the last several years has completely changed the inner dialogue that I have with myself every day. And it's really caused me to ask myself higher quality questions. If you want to change the state of your mind, you need to ask yourself higher quality questions, which is actually something I learned from The Essentials of Emotional Intelligence, which is a great book, by the way, that you should read. But just to give you an example of a mental pattern within myself that I was unconscious of before I started reading, when I used to get sad, I would isolate myself and listen to sad music. It would feel better in the moment because I didn't have to face anything and I felt like I was understood by the person that I was listening to. But now, after reading many books on improving my mindset, if something brings me down, I automatically look for what I did that contributed to that event. So I take responsibility and I try to find the lesson that that event is supposed to be teaching me. Then I look for what I need to be grateful for within that challenge so I can bring myself back to a balanced state where I'm conscious of the positives and the negatives of each situation. Our mental state is just like our physical state. We are what we consume. If we consume sad music, we get sadder. And if you consume positive content that makes you think in new ways, you'll start to change the subconscious negative thought patterns that you have. And you can start for free by consuming self-improvement related YouTube videos, podcasts, or audiobooks. And bonus points if you do it on the way home from the gym, because your endorphins will still be flowing from your workout, and studies have shown we retain information better if we study after a workout. Plus, you won't need to carve out extra time into your day to read because you'll already be spending that time driving home from the gym anyways. Step 3 is to find or build a meaningful profession. And the reason that this is the third step is because of all the positive momentum that you'll have from completing steps 1 and 2. And you'll have so many more advantages if you're in shape and have an understanding of human psychology. And that'll help you in any job. I mean, that's basically what sales is. If you're a good-looking person who knows how to speak to people, it's pretty safe to say you'll flourish in the majority of environments out there. But to be completely honest, most people grow up to work jobs that crush their souls. They're stuck in this cycle of living for the weekend, and each week they grow more and more negative and resentful towards their job because they don't find any meaning in it. I believe a 9 to 5 can absolutely be used as a stepping stone to get closer to what you actually want to do. Before I started my coaching business, I worked my 9 to 5 to save up money. I learned skills like how to be personable and how to sell myself to others. So once I figured it was time to go all in on my coaching business, I had the skills and resources I needed. And I really do think that real world experience that you gain from just getting into a working environment is priceless. And just like so many other lessons in life, more often than not, you're going to learn what you don't want from that experience. And don't get me wrong, I don't think everybody's meant to quit their job and start a business, but this same blueprint will work for anyone who's looking to climb the ladder within their company as well. But I really say entrepreneurship isn't for everybody because I remember driving DoorDash early on in my business on my Friday and Saturday nights just to keep my dream alive while I'd scroll through social media and see everybody else out enjoying their early 20s. And I realized I made that choice and I still wouldn't trade it for the world, by the way, but at the time that's not an easy thing to go through. I remember waking up at 4 a.m. to go drive to train clients while driving a car that had no heat, so I'd literally be driving and have to scrape the ice off from the inside of the car while I was driving because the condensation from my breath would collect on the windshield and form new ice as I was driving. But whether you choose to start your own business or to find a profession that allows you to find meaning in your work, I promise you that aiming to have a job where you wake up each and every single day excited to work is one of the most meaningful things that we can do in our lives. After all, God said, "By the sweat of your brow you will eat your food until you return to the ground," in the Genesis story when he was banishing Adam and Eve from paradise for eating the forbidden fruit. This means you're going to work hard to make a living until you die. So if we're all subject to working hard to make a living for ourselves until we die, we might as well do something we enjoy. So guys, I want to say thank you for your time. And as always, if you're a driven person looking to gain lean muscle and lose fat, but you're not sure how, follow me on Instagram and message me the word transform to work with me one-on-one, where I'll walk you through making your own fitness transformation by giving you custom workouts, custom nutrition protocols that include your favorite foods, and coaching you through the entire fitness transformation process so you can use fitness as the gateway to a successful future like my clients. And if you want access to the free community, don't forget to click the link down below in the description. I'll see you guys in the next one, and peace.